Dear business leader, business owner, entrepreneur, executive, if you've ever wanted to unlock your potential, and theirs too, then you need to show up in an extraordinary way, even in an ordinary environment. I had a buddy that I went to visit him in his shop, and when I did, it was clear that he was emotionally drained. Mostly drained by his business, most emotionally drained by his people. You've seen that. You may have even felt that at some point, but you've surely seen that walking in a place. I've seen it a lot because I've lived it. I lived that for a good portion of having a auto service for 25 years. Um, and I mean, it's something where you do all you can to try to take care of people and please them and take care of the business and do all the things that you need to do to make the business really work. And it's a lot of what I call glass balls. It's juggling, but it's not just juggling anything. It's juggling glass balls. And why are the balls glass? Because if any level of them break or fall, they can fracture and break. You miss payroll. You don't handle your taxes. You don't take care of the marketing that needs to be done to bring in new clients. Those are glass balls. Some of them are so fragile, as soon as they drop, they break. Others, they may fall and crack, but they can't fall too many times before you're done, right? And that's all you have is glass balls. You don't have rubber balls. Those balls in your hand, where if they fall, it's not that big a deal. You don't have time for it. Our time is spread very, very thin as a business owner, entrepreneur, executive. So, I walked in his shop and he was in a place where he was just completely emotionally drained. And I'm like, man, is it the business? He said, yes. I said, is it your people? He said, oh, most definitely, yes. And the thing about it is, in him being drained, as I walked in, I walked past his people. His people were drained too. They were just as emotionally drained as he was. I could see it. And I'm sure it was with him and the business. And I said, man, why are they standing around? What is the deal? Right. And, they just, that's what they do. They come in and they don't go to work. They just come in and stand around and drink their coffee and do what they do, yada, yada, yada. And come to find out, they didn't have the marching orders. They didn't know exactly what they needed to do. They didn't know what to expect. Um, and why do I even share that? Because he wanted to enjoy the fruits of his labor, but they wanted to enjoy the fruits of their labor as well. And the first thing that has to happen is we got to get our vision clear. Because what I found when I cracked that code, in my shop, when I cracked that code with clients as well. But let's just talk about my shop for now. When I cracked it, I got the vision so clear that leadership was far easier at that point. We have to do that as business owners, entrepreneurs. We can really talk about what we do and what we deliver and why we deliver it and why it matters. But we struggle when it comes to talk about the non-negotiables. Like, what is a concern and where, are the lines drawn? And our standard needs to be really, really clear and tight in that regard. So that our people know what they expect. They didn't know what to expect. They didn't know where to start. They didn't know what to expect. They didn't know what set him off. And he seemed to always be set off for them. And so because of that, they're on guard and ready. So to him, they were set off easily all the time. And so what am I saying? What I'm saying is it's possible to have a team that gets everything done without you even being there. And that's not just a dream. I would like you to start, if you don't have that, the dream there. But that's not just a dream, that's a goal. And to have that goal, you really need to dial in, what is my vision? What should they expect? What would make it easier for both myself and the people that report to me and report to my managers and supervisors? What would make it easier for everybody to be able to get their job done? How do we really dial that vision in? But that's where it has to start. It has to start with you having the courage to engage and really looking at your vision and setting it at the next level, and not be reactive with it. When I talked about that standard and the non-negotiables, what I didn't say is over here on that left side of the quadrant where you're dealing with that, that's usually a reactive measure. we have an employee that's not working and we're going to have to let them go. And after you do that, you set all these standards and processes and protocols in place. I'm never going to be there again to not have that happen again. We need to set that up on the front end, and we can. And again, that's not just a dream. It needs to be a goal. So let's dial in what our vision is. What should they expect? If you see your people standing around at some level, maybe have a quick meeting and say, hey, what can we do to make this better? But at the end of the day, you can really dial that vision in, but it's going to start with the courage to engage in that process. And I can't tell you, the leaders that know that, they know they need to really have the heart to heart, what I call face the ugly truth, with their people. It's a pink elephant in the room, and they're not willing to face that ugly truth and talk about it and deal with it. And because of that, they stay stuck and it gets worse. And it just compounds. It gets worse and worse and worse and worse and compounds. Have you ever been there? Are you there now? Hopefully you're not, but you don't have to be. You really don't have to be. Yesterday, I talked about the courage to explore. And as leaders, courage, what do I need courage for? I had the courage to go in business. I had the courage to run this company. I had the courage to juggle all those glass balls you just talked about, right? What do you mean courage? Well, what got you here won't get you there. And if your goal is to stay here, no problem. You don't need any more courage. Just keep doing what you're doing. Stay on automatic. Be in the familiar place you're in, and you won't have the favor to get to the next level. But if your goal is to get from here to there, like I said yesterday, you're going to start with the courage to explore what's missing and what do I need to do. And then you're going to have to move in the courage to engage in that process to start getting it done. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk a little bit more about this and share more of what I've seen my clients go through and how they move to start getting out of that place. I'm Guy Cooper, formerly the Healthy Car Guy, retiring that right now. And that's what that little G is in the bottom. That's my new logo for Guy Cooper. And my goal is to serve you at the absolute highest level. So thank you, business owner, entrepreneur, executive, and leader. Have a great day. And let's do this. You can go. Let's go.